Yes, I did get banned in Creatures of Sonaria, but don't worry, it wasn't permanent. I'm unbanned now. But there is a reason to why I was banned, so let me tell you about it. I was just chilling on Discord when this random guy DM'd me. Apparently, he wanted to buy a species Aries, and he was offering a lot of mush for it, so I took the deal pretty fast. The weird thing was that this guy didn't just want to trade mush for an Aries, he wanted to reserve it. So it took him a while, but eventually he DM'd me back and we got to trading. And then I realized he already had a species Aries. So basically the way it works is anyone that's not a CC can only hold up to one copy of a species Aries. So that's when I found out this guy was paying me mush so I can trade Aries to his friend, and he was only paying for it, which I thought was pretty nice. So I waited for his friend to join and the deal went through smoothly, but he wasn't quite done with me. He asked me how many species Aries I had left, and I said a lot, and he wanted to reserve 5 of them, and he was willing to pay 34,000 mush for each, which adds up to a lot. And he also wanted screenshot proof that I'm actually giving his friends the Aries after he pays me, which is fair because he wanted to make sure his friends were getting the species, right? But the fact that he had 5 people lined up to buy Aries was a little weird, but I figured maybe he was just really rich and he had a lot of friends. After that first deal went through, he would DM me about every 30 minutes or so, and he would ask me to join him so he could pay for another Aries. So apparently now this was part of a big giveaway he was doing, and he just needed a CC to give species Aries to the winners, and he just paid for them. So I went through with this, and after buying 5 whole species of Aries for giveaway winners, he wanted 5 more, which means this guy really has a lot of mush since he was buying nearly 10 species for me. And he also asked for a discount, which I thought was fair because he was buying species Aries in bulk, right? So I decided to give him 10% off when he brought 5, which means he paid around $135,000 for 5 species Aries. So after a few successful trades, this guy soon realized he didn't have enough mush to keep paying for species Aries, and he needed to get on a different account to transfer some over. To save him some trouble, I told him I could just give him 4 species Aries for 1 species Karuku, and he thought that was fair. At this point, it was getting late and I needed to go to sleep, so I did one last deal and I went to bed. So the next day was when things started to get a little weird. So I was just doing my own thing, but I just randomly got muted in the Creatures of Sonaria Discord server for some reason, and they didn't even give me an explanation why.
Boy, if you don't get...
So I was really confused. But after talking to a few moderators, I figured out that it was a mistake and they thought I was underage for whatever reason. So no harm done, right? But then after that, I was suddenly just banned for selling Aries for real money, and that really confused me because I hadn't cross-traded in Creatures of Sonaria ever, and I never made any real money off of Roblox. So I quickly DM'd the mods to figure out what was going on, then the mods sent me this. The entire thing was in a different language, so I couldn't really read it. I think it's in Thai, but it was translated so I could make out part of what was going on. And I realized that there was a guy called Cronox, which is the same display name as the guy who has been buying Aries for me from before. But the thing is, he paid me in mush, not real money, so it didn't make sense. But it didn't take long for me to figure out what was really going on. So what I thought happened was Cronox, he paid me in mush, right? So I would give the species Aries to his friends. But his friends weren't actually his friends. They were just customers who paid real money for the species Aries. So whoever took the photos must have thought I was in on the operation to sell Aries for real money. The thing was though, that Cronox never told me about any of this, so I had no idea what was going on. After some talk with the moderators, I was able to convince them that I didn't actually know what was going on the entire time, and I didn't make a single penny off this operation. I showed them our entire conversation on Discord, and they unbanned me from the server, which was great. So, moral of the story, don't trust people even if they're acting real trustworthy. So this guy Chronox, he would pay me first always, and he did keep his words for most of the trades I went through, except for admitting that he was actually selling my species Ares. And it took me a long time to realize that he was just using me to sell species Ares for his own gain. And also, more importantly, never do any sort of cross trading. The guys who paid for Ares, well, they're getting trade locked because the mods saw their usernames in the conversation with me and Chronox. So be careful out there. There are a lot of people who can take advantage of you, but don't be too paranoid. Still trust people, as most of them are probably genuine. Just make sure you know all the details before agreeing. Anyways, I'm just glad I'm unbanned now, and hope you all enjoyed the story, even though it wasn't necessarily a good one. I will see you in the next video.